this. Okay. So I want to be a little different on this live. I will come back and do a longer live, or I might just let this thing just run straight through. What I'm doing though is I'm about to shoot a YouTube video on Hosta. And this is one of my favorites. This is mouse ears. I love that. And I'm just gonna let the camera run here. So you kind of get a bit of this live is gonna be a little bit more of a behind the scenes of me setting up to shoot a longer video about Hosta. Hosta is one of my favorite plants. It's a nice foliage plant. But what I need to do is take this mic off. I have a few more back here. Let me pick these up. Yep. Okay. So I just want to set this up and kind of let this live be a little bit of a behind the scenes of what I do in preparation for shooting my how-to videos. And I really only talk about plants that I know. I've been growing hostas for years. And so I have my little table set up here, and then this looks like Patriot. It is Patriot. Look at that. Yeah, Patriot. I've grown Patriot because it just has this outward variegation on it that looks really good. And Hosta is one of my favorite plants, and I want to talk about it. So what I do on my full videos is I'm thinking about what are the conditions, what do you need to have the plant grow, be healthy, what conditions do you want to put it in, how frequently do you want to water it, what do you need to be aware of, how do you want to, watch out for it. And so those are all the points to talk about, but there's a little bit of a visual setup that I'm aiming for as well. I like for the plants to actually be visible while I'm going through the whole live. So this camera is right here. The video that I'm going to record, camera is right there. So I'm aiming straight for this point, and I'm trying to get them arranged to where they look good, but they're not blocking my face. Okay. So I think that'll work. This is kind of a jungly in front of me, but I think that's kind of cool. I just need to also be able to make sure I can reach in and get the plants that I want. Let's see if I want to put this one. See, I don't want to put this one closer to the front. Maybe I do. I don't know. This is Atlantis. So maybe I want to get some of the bigger ones to the front and some of the smaller ones closer to me so I can grab them a little easier, because I want to go through them. I want to talk about the variegation, talk about the different sizes. Where's mouse ears? Here it is. So yeah, I might want to do it like this. I may want some of the bigger ones to be more to the front, kind of right there, and then have these smaller ones here in a more grabbable location. And this one is actually blooming. It's gonna be really cool because I can show in the video the bloom for a hosta. Some people actually take the blooms out. They take the stem out. I don't think that it's necessary to take the stem out. I like hostas as well. This really are some of my favorite plants. Let's see if I maybe sit this here. Now this is a large variety. Blue Mammoth. I like the name of that one. Flowers year after year. But it says, this is cool because it says flowers year after year, but it's really not about the flowers. Hosta are not about the flowers. I've seen a group of large hosta in bloom, and it is a bit attractive. Like if they're all blooming, because the blooms some of these are upright, some of them kind of lean, and they look really good when they're leaning. But it's all about that foliage for me, for hosta. So I'm gonna put this one here. It's kind of big, blousy. Patriots right there. Back this camera up just a little bit. And then I'm gonna have Hosta assorted. This is just a variegated Hosta. That's interesting. Now this one is June. I bought this one because look at that yellow. And that's a lot of variation. I don't even want to call that variegation. That's just kind of a golden. It's not even chartreuse. It really is just a yellow. I mean, it comes out chartreuse in the center. It's more of a chartreuse, kind of like a green, limey green in the interior. But look at that. That is just yellow hosta leaves. And this, of course, is all of the hybridizers who are continually working on these plants, and they're constantly trying to get something new out of them. So that's going to be, and I grew mouse ears. And I'm going to keep this indoors. This is almost small enough so you can put it in a terrarium. The only problem is they do need to go dormant periodically. So you wouldn't want to put the whole terrarium outside. So I won't put it in a terrarium because then I'd have to take it out. But this I'm going to keep indoors. I grew mouse ears outside and it just vanishes. It doesn't get any bigger than this. It just vanishes. So could you imagine if you had mouse ears in this planet, really just like this, around other hosta or anything? That's as big as it gets. Beautiful plant, just stays really small. That's a pretty color. Atlantis is nice. It's more of a, you have the little frills and the leaves are more narrow. It's almost giving canna leaves, the way it looks, or ginger leaves is what it looks like. It's not even giving quite hosta because the leaves are so narrow. But it is a bit of an outer variegation, but it still looks good. I mean, I like it. It's just, a little different. I think that if it gets a bit of different conditions, it may change. Those outer leaves may go a little bit limier green. And the last one that I have here is this one. And I think it's just a hosta. There are so many variety of hosta at this point because they're constantly hybridizing and making new ones. Like Mammoth, Blue Mammoth, this is large. A few years ago, the largest one that I know of was Empress Wu. Empress Wu gets big. I mean, like we're talking leaves like this. And Empress Wu, though, those really large hosta, it takes a long time for them to get to that size. But I don't have any of the Mammoth hosta. I have hosta growing outside. I wasn't going to dig them up just for a video, though. So this is pretty much the setup that I think I want to go with. I'm going to turn this back, not so it's not blocking my face. The thing about it when you're doing like live is easy. When you're doing the YouTube videos, though, you kind of want to have it, the camera is powered off, which is fine. I don't want to run it. You kind of have to have everything set up, and people like the visuals. And I get it. Like if you're talking about a particular type of plant, I want to see that plant. And so I have to make sure that I have hosta growing in the ground. They're already out in the yard. They look really wonderful in the beds. And again, I'm not digging them up. Also, I shoot indoors because indoors I can control my lighting. I have a light here. I have a light here. I have some, my other lights behind me, which are on the plants. It just kind of gives a little bit of a, a look to the room. I hate the curtains, but it is what it is. I also shoot in this room at nighttime. I do a lot of my video in at night, which is kind of different because most people who doing flowers, it's all like daytime and daylight. I do mine at night predominantly because the sun is setting and it produces a lot of backlight and glare, and it just washes out the colors really bad. And so I shoot in this room at night. If I was in a room that didn't have like all the windows, that would be good, but the plants need the windows, so they need the light, and it just adds a bit of depth. The plants are kind of far behind me, so it adds a little bit of depth. But yeah, the windows go really dark behind me. It gets a bit dark for some people. So it is a little weird that you're talking plants at night, but also that's when I have availability to do this. In the daytime, I'm busy. I work during the day and then, running around with the kids, the family. So at nighttime is the best time for me to actually get in here and, do something like this. So I set up at night. This is the setup. I have everything here. Mouse ears right here. Assorted variegated hosta here. June right there. Atlantis. Another no-name hosta. Patriot. And Blue Mammoth. So I have the names in my head of which hosta I want to talk about when, where, how I want to talk about it. And then it's all about getting all of my points together in my head. So hosta, shade-loving plants, foliage. Many of the blooms are insignificant. Slugs is a big problem with hosta. What are some of the other problems? The main thing that I know that can hurt them is full sun. If you put hosta in full sun, they just will not thrive in that environment. They need to be in dappled shade to full shade. Of course, if you plant them under trees, like a lot of people want to do, they don't understand. They plant beautiful flowers under, say, oak trees. First off, the roots for oak trees and a lot of trees, unless they're conifers, which are like pine trees, and they grow straight up and down. And the root of the plant goes more straight down like a taproot. But oak trees, their roots spread out and they're pretty close to the surface. They drain all the moisture away. So if you try to say, oh, I have this big, beautiful oak tree and I'm going to dig out a space under the oak tree to plant my hosta, first, you're going to have a hard time digging because the roots are basically at surface level or right below the surface level. So if you're going to plant under an oak tree, you have to do a raised bed, whereas you're going to leave the ground the way it is, raise the soil up around it in a certain area and then plant into that, or go in and dig with the anticipation that you're going to have to go in with like an axe to cut roots to create a space. So basically don't do it. One, you're going to disturb the tree. And also, if you raise the soil level up too high around the roots of the tree, you can hurt the tree overall. So don't get too deep up under like an oak tree. Pine trees, which don't put out as many roots, at least not that many large roots at the base of the tree. Those are a little easier. But dappled shade against the house, where you're going to have shade on one side of the day in the morning, but then as it goes towards the afternoon and the evening, it's going to be shaded. That works great for hosta. Hosta, in my opinion, look really good in groupings. So if you group them all together, they look good. Typically, you buy plants in threes. I would have bought 3 of these. If I was trying to plant in a group, I would not have just bought this. I would have bought 3, pretty much 3 of everything. Of course, that gets expensive, but if you want to make sure you can see each individual one, you can plant them like that. You also have to be cognizant of the size of the hosta that you're planting. This blue mammoth is going to be mammoth. It's going to be big. So this could be, when it grows all the way out, it's going to take several years. It could be about 2 feet across, maybe 2 feet tall when the blooms are coming off, just talking about 3 feet. So if you plant this, or, I already talked about mouse ears, which I think is a cool name. If you plant any of these smaller hosta next to one of these bigger hosta, it's just going to get crowded out. You're not going to see it. Also, they grow in kind of bulbous groupings. It was really tight and they just kind of spread and they'll push other plants out over time. I had some really cool patches of hosta back in the States. But yeah, hosta are really great. I want to do a whole video about them and just going to spend a bit of time talking about them. I do want to kind of maybe make these look a little better before I get the video going. Just a little bit of just kind of a house plant mist, leaf shine. Just kind of shine them up a little bit. I was really excited. I went out today to a garden center looking for mouse ears specifically because I knew it was one of the smallest hosta that I know of. I don't know of any hosta that's smaller than mouse ears. Like, this is pretty much it. That's it. It's not going to get any taller than that. Like, it's just a beautiful little hosta. You have to be careful with it though, because it's kind of tiny. But I was so glad I was able to find it today because I didn't already have it. I knew Patriot. You could get Patriot pretty much everywhere, like Walmart in the spring. It's Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's. You'll be able to find Patriot. Here in the UK, I picked this one up at B&Q. So Patriot's everywhere. It's like and it's really cool because it has this white variegation. Like that white variegation is just really, really nice. And that's one of the reasons I really like Patriot. Patriot's really cool. It gets large. All hosta, if you give them enough time, can grow into really large clumps. But if you want to speed that up, again, I'm gonna take this off. Hey, look, this leaf here is broken. That one's broken off right there. So I'm not gonna go back down the stem too much, but I'm just gonna snip that off right there. Don't want that to show up. Slugs. The biggest problem I have with hosta is slugs and sunburn. Those are the two biggest things. But I have fought with snails and slugs. Oh my goodness. They absolutely love hosta. Another thing that likes hosta is deer. I've had deer this doesn't look good. Let's put that down. Deer have actually ripped my hosta out of the ground before. And slugs you can actually handle. Deer are hard because they're on 4 legs, they can hop, they can jump. You know, what I mean by hop, they hop fences. And then when you get behind them, they jump out of your yard really quickly. But around 2, 3 in the morning, they go in and they will eat your hosta down to the ground, down to nubs. And so deer are really hard on hosta. Slugs are hard on hosta. And what I've used in the past to get rid of the deer is, there's 2 things I've used. One, there's this spray that's like, it mimics coyote urine. It doesn't smell good, but if you spray that on your plants, that'll work. A dog in the yard. I used to have my terriers, and my terriers. I had a silky terrier and a Yorkie, and they would cue in that the deer were coming, and they'd go and start scratching at the door, and I would let them out, and they would go zooming out the house chasing the deer. So the dogs did a great job of keeping the deer back until they started running up on some of the larger bucks. And again, like Yorkies are tiny. So a Yorkie against a buck, like, you know, a 6-point buck, a 7-point, they're not really gonna be scared of a dog that small. But the does and all the others, the dogs did a great job running them off. I also used these pellets, which were like, basically it's like a cayenne type pellet. Anyways, the point of it is you put it around the base of the plant, and the plant would absorb whatever chemical this is into the plant, which will make the plant taste spicy to the deer. And so the deer ended up not liking the taste of the plant. I had mixed results with that particular product. Again, these are products that I had back in the US. I haven't seen anything like that here in the UK. Of course, deer are also not as big of a problem here. So I used to grow in Southern Maryland, and deer was a massive problem. I can imagine all across the South, the deer is a big problem. But deer is not really a big problem here. There are deer here, but there are these really cute little deer called muntjacs. I think the muntjacs originally came from India, and they're like tiny. They're size of like little dogs. The little baby ones are, you know, this muntjacs. Just look them up. They're really tiny, tiny little deer, and so they live in the hedges actually out behind me. Hi from South Carolina. I'm going to be in South Carolina in June. If you know of any cool gardens or anything I can go and visit, we're going to head down to South Carolina. We're going to fly into DC, then we're going to drive down to South Carolina. My wife's originally from Beaufort, Hilton Head, that whole region. We'll spend some time down there. But if you know of any like cool gardens or anything, because I want to do some gardening, at least go and visit some gardens while I'm there. I know there's some, I don't know if, what's that place in North Carolina? It's a beautiful castle, and it's in Asheville. I don't know if that place is open. I can't remember the name of it right now. But it's like kind of castle-esque. But last year it got pretty messed up with those floods, and I don't know if they're open again this year. But if they are, I may swing by there in North Carolina. But I would love to find something in South Carolina, a couple gardens to go and see. I love to go into gardens as well. So I think it'd be cool, nice and hot. I will be there in late June, towards early July, into South Carolina. Then we're going to cut across and head over to Arkansas. Spend about like a month in the U.S. Hopefully I can just stop off and see a lot of gardens while I'm there. But yeah, hosta. This is the setup that I'm going to do, that I'm going to have for the YouTube video that I'm going to shoot here in a few minutes. And these are the lights. You can't really see them, but they're pretty bright. I don't want to shine it into the camera, but those are the lights that I have. And I have 2 of those set up, 2 different color temperature spectrum. Like this one is brighter, and then this one's a little dimmer. So you get more of a brightness on this side of the face, a little dimmer on this side. And then you have some of the backlights. Normally I have this light up above me on, and I may turn that on for the video. I'm not really sure. And those other lights are creating a lot of light behind me. So you get kind of like light separation, light and dark. And then also my skin tone is a darker brown. So if I'm not well lit, I just won't look good, right? So I have to have really good lighting to have to get the chocolate on the skin and not look too dark and kind of crazy. Because if the lighting is not right, then my face will look like my hair, and we don't want that. So a lot of lighting. This is more of a gold tone, and this is more of a white tone. And it just kind of, that's how it's set up for these YouTube videos. And then it's a lot of stop and go when you're doing the video. I can't really do the whole video in one take And I'm aiming for an 8 to 10 to 15 minute video with these how-to videos. This one is going to be to how to grow and care for hosta. That's what the whole video is going to be about, just hosta. And I love doing videos specific to just one plant because that's searchable for people when they're searching on YouTube. And typically think about it, if you want to know how to grow hosta, you're going to get on YouTube. I'm sorry, YouTube. You're going to get on Google. You can do it on YouTube. You can search on YouTube or you can search on Google. The cool thing about YouTube is that Google will pull your YouTube video up in the search results. So if someone goes to Google and they search for how to grow hosta, if you have a video on that topic and it ranks, meaning Google or YouTube acknowledges that this video is valid about that topic, then it could come up. So when someone does a search in Google, how to grow hosta, they'll have like 1 or 2 written things. First, the AI is going to summarize at the top, and then it's going to have the pages that the AI pulled from, and then up under that will be a grouping of YouTube videos, and you can, go in and check out those videos. And that's what I'm aiming for, to get pulled up in search. So that's why I started doing videos specifically to one plant. So I've done videos on alliums, canna, crinums, tomatoes, just different things that I grow. I do vegetables, I do house plants, I do ornamentals. My favorite though is right here. Not saying hostas, but I'm a huge fan of ornamental flowers. That's what I like the most. Marigolds, perennial beds. So that's why I love being here in the UK, because the coolest garden in the entire world, which is Kew Garden, which is right down in London, it's about 80 miles from me. I go to Kew as often as I can. A lot of flower shows. The UK is huge into gardening. The UK is huge into beautiful gardens and flowers. And I'm actually doing classes over here for flowers as well. So it kind of helps me out. I don't have time though, because I have a job. So I don't have time to go and become like a certified master gardener. I wish I did have time for that, but I don't have time to do that. Those classes are pretty much the same as any schooling. Like you're going 2 to 3 to 5 days a week over a very long period. It's like, I don't have time to go back to school. So I can do some of this targeted classes, like if it's 4 hours on a day, or on the weekends, or just one day. Those are the ones that I try to get into and just kind of learn a bit more about horticulture, about plants, about flowers. And you never can learn it all. I've said before, anyone who comes to you and tell you they know everything about all plants, and they're lying, because it's just too much. No one can know everything about all the plants. Me, I focus in primarily on bulbs because I love perennials. I always say I like things or plants that go and come back, meaning you plant it and next year you have more of it. It reproduces itself and makes more for you. Now, I don't just grow perennials, but I do prefer perennials. I love bulbs. I love tubers. I feel like they're a bit more forgiving. If you forget to water a bulb or a tuber, dahlia or something like that, or canna, if you forget to water it, it's going to be okay. If you forget to water your petunias or your marigolds, especially your petunias, you forget to water your petunias for a week and they're crispy dried up. They're gone. So annuals are a little harder to grow. You need to definitely stay on top of them. Perennials, they give you a little bit of leeway. So if you're kind of a busy gardener, then I feel like perennials help you out a lot because they continue to look good. They're pulling main energies coming from that bulb, from that tuber, from that root. Then that just kind of, also the best blooms to me come from roses, peonies, dahlia. Those are some of the best blooms. So this is the setup that I'm going to run for the video here in just a couple minutes as soon as I get off live. I was going to do it while on live. That's what my original intention was to shoot the video while I'm doing the live. But I'm not going to be able to do that because my notes are on my phone. And so I will set that up again later. I will pull my notes off my phone so I can have them. And then I would actually shoot the video so you can kind of see the behind the scenes of how it's going to go. And then I would kind of let the live run and you just kind of see the behind the scenes of how to do it. So if anyone ever wants to know how to do this, how to set this up for themselves, this is how I'm doing it. And I'm having a little bit of success with it. This channel, I started this channel back at the end of 2023. So the end of 23, all of 24, and now into 25, again, like heading towards midway through 25. And it's slow going, I think that it's partly because there are already so many people. I feel like this space is saturated. There are already so many people who provide really great information regarding plants and flowers. And so it's kind of hard to break into a space that's saturated. So I feel like this is saturated. However, when you're doing YouTube, you should definitely play to your strengths. You should talk about things that you're comfortable talking about, things that you know really well. And I know flowers, right? And so since I know flowers, even though it's a saturated space, you can still kind of create a space for yourself if you're willing to put in the time, effort, dedication, all of those things. YouTube is all about time, effort, consistency, knowledge. There's a lot of things you have to know how to do. You have to have cameras, lighting, editing, because once you get all this pulled together, you still have to come back and edit all of this. And so that's why I like jumping on live, because there's no editing on live. You just turn it on and you go. But for your formal videos, like I turned the camera back on, so I'm looking at the camera here and I'm looking at the camera here. But for your formal videos, it needs to be edited properly. All the pieces have to go together really well. And this is not my only YouTube channel. If this was my only YouTube channel, then it would be easier. But I think we have four YouTube channels. We have the main family channel, which is Mac and Blair Family Adventures. We got 55,000 subscribers on that channel. It's just us, the kids. We run around, we're doing all kind of cool things. Hello from Scotland. I'm glad to hear that I'm glad you're learning something. Stop following you? Wilbert? You're telling Wilbert to stop following you? Is Wilbert following you around? I hope not. Or you guys may just, Logan, let Wilbert live, be free. I hope you are learning. And that's kind of said, playing to your strengths. This is something that I do, that I enjoy, and I know quite a bit about it, and I'm learning more. And that's the other cool thing about doing like these videos, is helping me delve deeper into knowing, growing, and understanding. Because if you're going to try to help someone else, then you have to know more. You have to kind of dig into it. Don't be scared unless something else is going on that I'm unaware of. So you have to learn more. But yeah. This was not even the live that I intended. I wanted to set this live up and shoot the video. I guess I could do the very beginning and think about how I want to present it. So if I'm going to do the video, the first thing is your hook. And so thinking about your hook, thinking about the hook, I want on this to be something along the line of, hey, if you're interested in beautiful flowers or foliage, plants that have great foliage all year long, so to think about that hook, about exactly what I'd want the hook to say. And I think I have it written down in my notes. There's a bulb in your bird cage. That's different. But yes, the hook is going to go something along the line of, and so I think, which house do I want to hold? I think this one may be cool to hold, or do I want Patriot? So I may want Patriot kind of in my hand as I'm talking, and that'd be the first clip. Just kind of have it, if you're looking for a plant or flower that's da-da-da-da, da-da-da, and just kind of have it right here, not blocking my face, but just right here. So it's very visible. You have this big leaf, which is visible, and the others aren't on that camera. Let me bring the camera down just a little bit. And so now I'm going to turn this a little bit this way. There we go. And so now you can see the other hosta that I have set up here. Okay, so the intro to the video. If you're looking for a hosta, if you're looking for a plant, foliage, then the hosta is a plant for you. Let's talk about it. Let's dig into it. So there, that'll be the setup for, yeah, this is the angle. This is pretty much what I want on this side. I wish I had more on, I hate that I have this open space right here. Just a little bit, because when I did my peonies, I had a peony sitting right here, but I hate I have all this open space right here. I may figure out how to swing around a little bit, turn my camera back a little bit this way. Clip off some of that dead space. Okay. So yeah, this is pretty much the setup. Want to get all your angles right. And okay, all my angles are pretty much set up. This is pretty much the setup that I want. And I will have my notes as I'm going through this. So I do my intro take, bam. I will set this Patriot plant down here, and then I will have my notes right here, which they're off camera here and they're off camera here. Now, when I'm actually filming, I can't actually look down at my notes because no one wants to see you. Like you're filming da-da-da, and you look down and then you look back up. No one wants to see that in your video. So I will have my notes here, and then I'll film, pause, review my next section, film, pause, review my next section, film, pause, and just kind of go through that until I work through all of my different points, then come back and edit it all together. I wish I had the ability to just do it all in one time, but I don't. I have to go through multiple takes to get what I want. All right, so I want to go ahead and do that. I want to go ahead and film it. Unfortunately, to film it, I'm going to have to jump off the live. Next time I'll set this up so I can actually film the video and still be on live at the same time. But I need my notes off my phone. So I appreciate everyone jumping on here. This was not the live that I intended, but I did want to do just really, this is a BTS. This is behind the scenes of how I set up to shoot my how-to videos. You have to have an abundance of the plants that you're going to shoot with. You need to know the names and the varieties of the types, and you need all the details about that particular plant. And you're thinking about, how do I go about this to where I can present this information to be the most helpful to people. I'm always coming at my videos. These how-to videos are from the standpoint of someone who is interested in growing this plant already. I'm not necessarily trying to sell you on the plant. I prefer when you find this video about hosta, you already know hostas is something that you want to grow, and then I'm going to kind of help you and tell you some of those tips and tricks that may help you grow hosta a bit better, make you aware of some of the conditions, and just kind of help you provide a bit of information for you. I'm not trying to sell you on it like, hey, you really need to get a hosta. I'm not trying to sell it on you like that. Hopefully when you get to this video, you search for it and then you find it, and it gives you the information that you need to help you grow better. I'm still really excited about this one. June, this one's cool. These are my two favorites. Mouse ears, blue, this is blue mouse ears, mouse ears and June. These are my two favorite hostas. I love the big ones, but you know, they just get so big. Look at this leaf. This is going to be much bigger. Oh, you heard that little crack? I pulled that back too far. This plant is going to get much bigger. Empress Wu, I would love to get Empress Wu, but I don't have the space for it. All right, guys, I hope you appreciate this live. This is behind the scenes. This one I'm going to label this as live is behind the scenes. Let me go ahead and go so I can film this video. Come back, check it out on the channel sometime, and go and look at the hosta video. If you saw this live, you go look at that video, drop down in the comments later on and kind of tell me and give you some ideas. If there's another type of plant you want me to kind of do one of these deep dives, how to on, yeah, drop that down in the comments and let me know. I'm excited for this growing season. I bought a lot of bulbs. I have a lot of things kind of ready and excited to go here. And I can't wait to get this. We're not going to get into this tonight, but I am so excited about this bulb right here. This is going to be something special. It's already starting to bud out. I need to get a whole nother pot for this though. I'm really excited about this one. Okay, until next time. I'll check back with everyone. I may do another live here tonight, or maybe not, but every Sunday I try to jump on live, British Standard Time, Sunday evening, Sunday nights around 7:30, 8:39. What time is it right now? It's 9:43. So British Standard Time. I jumped on here about 30 minutes ago. Yeah, love to learn about some lilies. Okay, now when you say lilies, are you talking Asiatic lilies? Is that what you mean? Predominantly, those are beautiful. If that's what you mean, we can talk about those. Just want to make sure I have some lilies growing outside. Lilies are really great. So if that's what you're talking about, yes. Okay. So yeah, I will look to do a video on some Asiatic lilies. Those are really cool. Tiger lilies are used to be my favorite, one of my favorite ones in that class of flowers. I'll look into that. All right. Appreciate it. Talk to you guys soon.